Mr. Muthiah, first let's talk about Lalit Modi. I'm sure you knew of the charges that were framed against him by the BCCI. Do you think it's the correct call that the BCCI has taken, especially when one considers the charges that were framed against him?
I don't know, but one has to be fair to Lalit. But for Lalit, this huge product would not have been created. And he was a single man who created this fantastic product which has earned so much money for the BCCI. So they should have had some weightage for that. I don't know, the disciplinary committee I think recommended his total ban. I don't know for what reason, I have not gone into it. But I believe today the board has decided to ban him for life. This is not a surprise. I expected this would happen. But always Lalit can go back on appeal.
So you expected this to happen, but do you think it's the correct decision? You would know of the charges. There were 8 charges that were framed against him, and no one knows about the BCCI rules better than you.
I wouldn't like to comment on comment further, but I don't really know whether the charges are correct charges as you are asking me.
Okay. Now, does this now tell you that there are double standards in the BCCI? Because some of the people who are involved in banning him for life today, in fact, the gentleman who was chairing the meeting, I'm hinting towards the current BCCI president in exile, Mr. N. Srinivasan, he himself is facing a lot of flack for his relative being involved in corruption. The team that he owns, the Chennai Super Kings, there are question marks raised over some matches that they played in the IPL. For someone like him to pass a judgment on another man who's guilty, do you see double standards there?
See, this is what I've been saying for long, the question of conflict of interest. And that has led to all these things happening now because of a conflict of interest. Now, naturally, he'd be interested in his son-in-law, although he's distancing himself. But I don't know whether he can really sit on judgment over Modi's case or even some of the players who were banned for life last week. It's questionable.
Right. So then, would it now be correct to say that it's end game for Lalit Modi? Because we've seen it in the past, administrators who've been banned for life, Mr. Jagmohan Dalmia is an example, but he came back, he took the legal route and came back into the BCCI. Do you see that happening with Lalit Modi too?
I'm sure he'll bounce back. Lalit is a person, he's a fighter, and I'm sure he'll bounce back. I'm sure the board will reconsider this decision. He can go on appeal to them. I think these are all not a sealed decision, not cast in iron.
One final question. While you say that he's a fighter and he will fight back, but he cannot be absolved of the charges that are against him. There is a lengthy report that the 3-member committee of the BCCI filed. The charges against him are very clear. He in fact has been very candid. He's come out on camera and said that yes, he was arrogant, yes, he made a few mistakes. So he cannot be absolved of those charges, and some action needed to be taken against him, even if it's been taken by people who themselves are involved in some kind of corruption in the moment.
I don't know how genuine these charges are. I have not gone into it in depth for me to make any comment. So it remains to be seen by a new setup completely.
Right. And final question, sir. As a former president of the board, are you happy with the way things have turned out with regards to the IPL? Do you think Indian cricket is being run in the way it should be?
I don't think so. I'm really ashamed of what is happening today. And we have lost our credibility. We have all former presidents. We have had some very eminent people as presidents. And we are all ashamed of what is happening. At least I'm ashamed of what's happening.
Right. Mr. C Muthiah, thanks so much for talking to NDTV. And I'll just sum up what he said. He said he feels ashamed with the way cricket is being run right now in India. And while he is not very aware of all the charges that have been framed against Lalit Modi, he did go on to say that Lalit Modi is a fighter and he expects to see the man who started the IPL get back into the BCCI.